Hi, Mark. We've got Betsy on the line with a question.
I was concerned that, we do have the First Amendment right to free speech, but with the the news people, the pundits, people who aren't journalists, who don't follow any kind of rules of engagement and just lie and spew vitriol and have audiences who follow them, how are we ever going to mend the divide in this country?
Well, I'm for the First Amendment too, and I also know which genies are never going back in which bottles, and so there's going to be a lot of speech out there, and I think the two things that I'm most concerned about, one I talked about in the beginning, I'm concerned about everything being infused with hatred rather than grace, but the other thing is the thing you referenced, which is the lack of facts, and I think Democrats are have the high ground right now on the question of which party, uh, in polls, which party seems to have more adherents who believe the truth rather than spin. But neither party has clean hands, and I think that this is where I go back to pretty fundamentals about parents and educators and about leaders in news organizations who really need to be focused on speech that's positive, speech that corrects speech that is factually incorrect, but out in the marketplace. And I think big responsibility, imperfectly executed so far by Twitter and Facebook to try to keep up with that. But I don't think it's ever going to come down to anything as much as it's going to come down to the consumers. You know, I'm going to do a focus group coming up relatively soon and ask folks about this, about why did so many people think that Barack Obama was a Muslim? Not that there's anything wrong with it, but why did they think that when it was factually incorrect? I think we need to get to the bottom of how these things start and how they propagate and how they sustain. But it's going to be up to parents and teachers and peers to try to correct it. But people are just too inclined to believe things that aren't true and too inclined, as I've said, to have a presumption of hate. The biggest thing is leaders. Actual leaders need to step in. Leaders of churches, leaders of synagogues and mosques, leaders of news organizations, leaders of corporations and small businesses, leaders in communities to step in and say, what you're saying isn't true, rather than laughing at it or ignoring it. But it's a tougher problem than we could solve tonight, but I appreciate you raising it. Thank you.